What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look in the Western Conference as we have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets meeting up for a matchup for the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Vegas Golden Knights come into this series winning the Pacific Division. They will have home ice advantage, and they are taking on the second wild card Winnipeg Jets, who just snuck their way into the playoffs, but they are ready to go. They've had to push. They've been playing playoff hockey here for the last couple of weeks, and they are ready to go. In terms of regular season matchup, it's 3-0 Vegas. Vegas won all three of their games against the Jets earlier this year, which is an edge for them going into the postseason. Seems like they're a pretty good matchup against the Jets, at the very least, during the regular season. Goals for and goals against. Winnipeg is 21st in the NHL, so they do not score a ton of goals. Vegas is just in the top 50 percentile at 14th in the NHL for goals for, so two pretty defensive teams. Goals against, 11th and 10th in the league, so pretty much two top 10 defensive teams in the league. That'll be kind of interesting. Both of these teams are not that great in terms of special teams. Power play and penalty kill, all of them are pretty much 20th or below. And the only difference is Winnipeg's penalty kill is top 7. They are 7th in the NHL for their penalty kill. Everything else, really not that good for either of these teams. So that'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. Forwards, defense, and goaltending. Forwards, I like the Vegas Golden Knights. I think when healthy, the Golden Knights definitely have the better depth. Defense, same thing. I like the Vegas Golden Knights. The Jets showed some promise. They've made some additions to that blue line. Nate Schmidt, Brendan Dillon. The emergence of Josh Morrissey this season is definitely something to watch for. He's cooled off a little bit, but the playoffs are the perfect time to kind of shine, and I think we'll see that from Morrissey this year. Goaltending, pretty easy. I think this is the X factor for the Winnipeg Jets. Head-to-head against any of Vegas's goaltenders, I'm still taking probably the Vezina Trophy finalist, at the very least, Connor Hellebuyck. He has made some unreal saves. I watch games with the Jets, and it looks like a for-sure goal, and you kind of have to look 2 or 3 times and say, he made that save? That's Connor Hellebuyck this season. He has been incredible. He has carried the Jets to the playoffs. I expect that to continue in their first-round matchup against the Golden Knights. In terms of the injury front for both of these teams, there's a couple of injuries for Vegas, but I think a lot of these are more guys just resting. Zach Whitecloud has been out for the last couple of days with a lower body injury. He'll probably be back for the playoffs. Logan Thompson he was out the other night against Seattle, probably going to be back. Nolan Patrick and Mark Stone are the two guys I would say we will not see for at any point this series. They're both on the LTIR. Same thing for Robin Lehner. Brett Howden has been out for personal reasons. We probably won't see Brett Howden. Aiden Hill has been out with a lower body injury. We'll see what happens there. And William Carrier, who's been out since March, is out indefinitely. So there is a couple of injuries for the Golden Knights. So there is a little bit of adversity. So Aiden Hill, William Carrier, Brett Howden, Robin Lehner, Nolan Patrick, and Mark Stone will probably not be playing in this playoff series. I would bet money that Thompson and Whitecloud will be back for the playoffs. Maybe not game 1, but for at the very least at some point in this series to make some kind of impact. For the Winnipeg Jets, a lot of guys have been out with maintenance. So if you see, he's out of the lineup, it's probably more resting than really anything. Pierre-Luc Dubois, Nikolai Ehlers, Josh Morrissey, Mark Scheifele, and Nate Schmidt have all kind of been resting here this week. The only real injuries of significance, maybe Nikolai Ehlers does or doesn't come back. We aren't really sure quite yet. Sam Gagner, he's been out since mid-March, so he's been out for a little bit, so we'll see what happens there. And Cole Perfetti, he's been out. They said he'll be out for 2 months, and that was back at the end of February, so again, maybe if they get to the second round of the playoffs, but I do not expect to see Cole Perfetti in this series. So Ehlers, Gagner, and Perfetti are the 3 injuries, and they are all up front for the Winnipeg Jets. This series is going to be interesting because I think we're going to see a lot more of a defensive style from these two teams. You might see a couple games with an explosion of goals, but for the most part, I think it's going to be a fairly defensive matchup. I really like what both of these teams have done. The Vegas Golden Knights kind of proving people wrong, right? They were maybe a wild card team. Shout out to what Logan Thompson said the other day. You know, they're kind of trying to prove people wrong in Vegas. They're going with that mentality. Winnipeg is for sure the underdog in this series. And with that said, I think the Vegas Golden Knights win this series. I think this will be one of the quicker series in 5 or 6 games. I think Connor Hellebuyck is very capable of stealing 1 or 2 games. And I just don't know how much Winnipeg has in terms of firepower behind that to really get this series across the finish line. I think Vegas has way more depth. They've got a much better defense. Lineup-wise, they're better. I think Pete DeBoer, leaving and bringing in Bruce Cassidy, I think that was a good change looking back. I think Bruce Cassidy is going to motivate the Golden Knights here in the playoffs. I think they're going to be ready to go. Rick Bowness, he's gotten the most out of this team that he can. He's squeezed every last bit of lemonade out of this team. I just don't know how much firepower and juice this team has left going into the playoffs. I have Vegas winning this thing in 6 games. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Who do you guys think will win this series between the Golden Knights and the Jets? Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and like this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Peace.